What happens when Hollywood's picture-perfect friendships turn into bitter legal battles? What started as a promising collaboration between Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and Ryan Reynolds has spiraled into one of the biggest celebrity scandals of the year. With lawsuits, shocking accusations, and even Taylor Swift getting dragged into the drama, this story has everything. At first, It Ends With Us was set to be a major film adaptation, bringing Lively and Baldoni together in what seemed like the perfect casting. But behind the scenes, things weren't so picture-perfect. Reports suggest heated creative disagreements between Lively and Baldoni, especially over a crucial scene rewrite. Tensions grew until Lively filed a lawsuit accusing Baldoni of misconduct, a move that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Baldoni hit back hard, filing a $400 million lawsuit against Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist, claiming he was the victim of a smear campaign designed to take control of the film. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift, Lively's longtime friend, has reportedly distanced herself, fueling speculation that even she doesn't support Lively's version of events. But that's just the beginning, because what happens next could end careers. Stay tuned, because this story is only getting messier. At first, the tension between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni seemed like a typical Hollywood creative disagreement. Directors and actors clash all the time over scripts, scene direction, and character development. It's part of the filmmaking process. But this wasn't just about artistic vision. This was about power, control, and reputations. The turning point reportedly happened during a crucial meeting about the script. Baldoni, as the director, had crafted a version of a key scene that tested well with audiences. But Lively, unhappy with his approach, allegedly insisted on rewriting the scene to her liking. According to Baldoni's lawsuit, Sony was initially on his side, preferring his version over Lively's. However, Lively allegedly threatened to withdraw from promoting the film if her rewrite wasn't used. With such high stakes, Sony relented, marking the first major victory for Lively. But that wasn't the end of the conflict. Baldoni, feeling undermined in his own project, began to push back. According to insiders, the situation on set became unbearably tense, with Lively and Baldoni barely speaking to each other. Ryan Reynolds entered the picture at this point, standing firmly by his wife's side. Some reports even claim that Reynolds had a private, heated confrontation with Baldoni, warning him to back off. Things took a far more serious turn when Lively filed a lawsuit in late 2024, accusing Baldoni of creating a toxic work environment and engaging in misconduct. These allegations sent shockwaves through the industry, putting Baldoni's career on the line overnight. As the headlines exploded, Baldoni wasted no time responding. He fought back with a $400 million countersuit, accusing Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan of defamation and intentional sabotage. Now, what started as a dispute over a single movie scene has transformed into a full-blown Hollywood scandal, with legal stakes higher than ever. The lawsuits have split the industry, with some insiders siding with Lively and others claiming Baldoni is being unfairly targeted. But here's where things get even more interesting: Taylor Swift's involvement, or rather, her sudden silence. Lively and Swift have been close for years, yet sources claim that Taylor has quietly distanced herself from the drama. Does she know something the public doesn't? Or is she trying to avoid being dragged into the fire? One thing is clear: this isn't just a legal battle, it's a fight for survival in Hollywood, and the fallout is just beginning. For years, Blake Lively and Taylor Swift were inseparable. Their friendship wasn't just for show. Swift even featured Lively's kids' names in her music, and they were often spotted on vacations together. But now, when Lively needs support the most, Taylor Swift has gone completely silent. This abrupt shift has sparked endless speculation. Why would Swift, one of Lively's most vocal supporters, suddenly back away from the drama? Some sources claim that she feels used, believing Lively may have dragged her name into the dispute for leverage. Others suggest Swift is protecting her own brand, unwilling to be associated with a scandal that could damage her pristine reputation. One of the most puzzling revelations in Baldoni's lawsuit is that Swift allegedly played a role, whether knowingly or not, in the pressure campaign against him. According to Baldoni's legal team, Swift made a public statement praising Lively's version of the disputed scene right when the studio was making its final decision. While this might seem like a harmless show of support, Baldoni claims it was a calculated move meant to sway Sony executives in Lively's favor. This raises an important question. Was Taylor manipulated into taking sides? If Lively used her friendship with Swift as a way to gain influence in the studio's decision-making, it would explain why Swift has distanced herself now. Being used as a pawn in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit is something even the world's biggest pop star wants to avoid. Meanwhile, insiders say that Swift's inner circle is now questioning Lively's motives. Reports suggest that people close to Swift have urged her to cut ties before the situation gets worse. This isn't the first time Swift has faced controversy over her friendships. She's known for being fiercely loyal, but she's also quick to walk away when things get messy. Lively, however, seems to be feeling the pressure. In recent public appearances, she's avoided addressing the lawsuit head-on, sticking to vague, rehearsed responses when reporters bring it up. Without Swift's support, she's left relying solely on Reynolds and her legal team to control the narrative. As this scandal unfolds, Swift's silence is speaking louder than any statement she could make. The question now is, will she break her silence and take a stand? Or will she continue to keep her distance, leaving Lively to fight this battle alone? One thing's for sure. Swift knows the power of reputation better than anyone. And in Hollywood, silence can be the loudest message of all. While much of the attention has been on Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, there's another major player in this legal war, Ryan Reynolds. Unlike Swift, who has chosen to remain silent, Reynolds has been actively defending Lively, even if it means getting dragged into the controversy himself. Sources close to the situation claim that Reynolds has taken an aggressive stance behind the scenes, working tirelessly to control the narrative and shield his wife from further damage. Some reports even allege that Reynolds personally confronted Baldoni during a heated meeting, where tensions escalated to the point that Baldoni later described it as one of the most hostile encounters of his career. But why is Reynolds so deeply involved? While it's natural for him to defend his wife, insiders suggest there's more at stake than just personal loyalty. Reynolds has significant business interests tied to his and Lively's public image. With their Hollywood brand built on their likable, down-to-earth personas, a scandal like this could derail their carefully curated reputation, and by extension, their future deals. Reynolds isn't just an actor. He's a businessman with multi-million-dollar ventures in industries like gin, mobile services, and sports team ownership. If Lively's reputation takes a hit, it could trickle down to Reynolds, making him less attractive to brands and investors. This isn't just about protecting Lively, it's about protecting their empire. That's why, according to reports, Reynolds has been working with Lively's legal team to craft a strong defense. Some sources claim he's been pulling strings behind the scenes, leveraging his Hollywood connections to limit the fallout and ensure that Baldoni's accusations don't gain too much traction. However, this strategy might be backfiring. The more Reynolds inserts himself into the situation, the more people start questioning his own involvement. Was he simply standing by his wife, or was he actively trying to pressure Baldoni out of the film? Baldoni's lawsuit suggests the latter, painting Reynolds as a key player in the power struggle that led to the legal chaos. With Reynolds now fully entrenched in this battle, he risks damaging his own reputation just as much as Lively's. The longer this drags on, the harder it will be for him to walk away unscathed. So the big question now is, will Reynolds' influence be enough to protect Lively, or has he made himself a target in a fight that could cost them everything? What started as behind-the-scenes Hollywood tension has now escalated into a legal battle with massive financial stakes. Justin Baldoni isn't just looking to clear his name, he's demanding $400 million in damages, a staggering amount that could cripple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds both professionally and financially. Baldoni's lawsuit alleges defamation, career sabotage, and intentional interference with his creative control over It Ends With Us. According to his legal team, Lively and Reynolds orchestrated a smear campaign to push him out of the director's chair and take control of the film. The lawsuit claims that Lively leveraged her Hollywood connections and used her friendship with Taylor Swift to apply pressure on Sony, leading to decisions that undermined Baldoni's authority on set. But that's just the beginning. The lawsuit also accuses Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, of actively spreading false and damaging information about Baldoni to the media. Allegedly, negative stories were strategically planted to paint him as difficult, unprofessional, and even unfit to be involved in the project. This, Baldoni argues, was done to ensure that Lively could assert full creative control, even at the expense of his career. If Baldoni wins, the consequences could be devastating for Lively and Reynolds. A $400 million payout isn't just a financial blow. It could force them to sell assets, take a step back from acting, or even reconsider their public image. It would also set a dangerous precedent in Hollywood, proving that even the most powerful names in the industry aren't untouchable. Meanwhile, legal experts are divided on whether Baldoni's case will hold up in court. Some argue that he has enough evidence, including alleged text messages, emails, and industry testimonies, to make a strong case. Others believe that Lively and Reynolds' legal team will fight back aggressively, potentially countersuing or attempting to settle behind closed doors. The biggest wild card? Sony. The studio has been shockingly quiet throughout this mess, despite being directly involved in the controversy. If Sony executives are forced to testify, it could reveal damaging internal decisions that they would rather keep buried. With both sides digging in for a prolonged legal battle, this lawsuit could take years to resolve. But one thing is certain: whoever loses will pay a price far greater than money. With a $400 million lawsuit hanging in the balance and reputations on the line, Hollywood itself has become a battlefield of alliances. While Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have long been considered one of the industry's most beloved power couples, this legal war has forced people to choose sides, and not everyone is standing by them. At first, many assumed that Hollywood's elite would rally around Lively, especially given her strong industry relationships. But recent developments suggest that support is far from unanimous. Some stars have distanced themselves entirely, unwilling to be linked to the controversy. Taylor Swift's silence is the most glaring example, but she's not the only one stepping away. Anna Kendrick, who worked with Lively on a simple favor, has reportedly blocked her on Instagram, a move that fans quickly noticed. On the other hand, a few celebrities have taken a clear stance in Lively's favor. Amy Schumer and Dakota Johnson have made subtle but pointed statements of support, indicating that they believe Lively's side of the story. Meanwhile, others within the industry have privately expressed skepticism, with some whispering that this case could be Hollywood's next big Amber Heard-Johnny Depp moment, where initial perceptions may not reflect the full truth. But it's not just celebrities watching closely. Hollywood executives and studios are deeply invested in the outcome. If Lively and Reynolds lose, it could signal a major shift in how power plays out in the industry. Studios might become more hesitant to let actors wield influence over creative decisions, fearing similar lawsuits in the future. Conversely, if Baldoni loses, it could reinforce the idea that Hollywood's most powerful figures are untouchable, no matter how controversial their actions may be. At the heart of the divide is a question that no one in Hollywood wants to answer publicly. Who's telling the truth? Baldoni's supporters argue that he was pushed out of his own film through manipulation and intimidation. Meanwhile, Lively and Reynolds' camp insists that they were merely standing up for creative integrity, a narrative that is becoming harder to defend as new evidence threatens to emerge. As Hollywood's biggest names watch from the sidelines, one thing is clear: this isn't just a legal battle. It's a fight for influence, credibility, and survival in an industry that never forgets. And when the dust settles, someone's career may never recover. While both sides are locked in a bitter legal fight, the real game changer in this battle may come down to one thing: evidence. So far, the case has been built largely on public statements, industry whispers, and insider speculation. But Baldoni's legal team has hinted at damning proof that could shift everything in his favor. At the center of Baldoni's lawsuit is the claim that Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist orchestrated a smear campaign to push him out of It Ends With Us. According to insiders, Baldoni's lawyers have access to a series of text messages and emails that allegedly prove Lively pressured Sony executives. Reynolds got directly involved in intimidating Baldoni, and their publicist fed false narratives to the media. If these messages are made public, they could completely dismantle Lively's defense. But that's not all. Baldoni's team has also hinted at behind-the-scenes footage and testimonies from crew members that allegedly expose what really happened on set. If these claims hold up, it could paint a very different picture from the one Lively and Reynolds have been pushing. On the other hand, Lively and Reynolds aren't backing down. Their legal team has been working aggressively to discredit Baldoni's claims, arguing that he's exaggerating events to frame himself as a victim. Sources close to Lively suggest that she has her own set of evidence, including documentation that proves she acted within her contractual rights, and that Baldoni was the one who became increasingly unprofessional as tensions rose. The biggest question now is whether either side will be forced to reveal their evidence publicly. Lawsuits like this rarely make it to trial, especially when celebrities are involved. because neither party wants their dirty laundry exposed in open court. If these messages, emails, and testimonies are as explosive as Baldoni claims, Lively and Reynolds may push for a private settlement to avoid public humiliation. However, if no settlement is reached, this could become one of the most revealing Hollywood trials in years, a case that not only determines who was truly at fault, but also sets a precedent for how much power actors and directors really have behind the scenes. For now, the public is left waiting. But if the evidence does come out, this legal battle could take a turn no one saw coming. No matter how this legal war ends, the damage has already been done. What started as a creative disagreement has spiraled into a scandal that could reshape Hollywood's power dynamics. The question now isn't just who will win the lawsuit, but who will survive the fallout. For Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, their once untouchable reputations are now under scrutiny like never before. Lively, who has carefully built an image as Hollywood's golden girl, now faces the possibility of being seen as a manipulative force behind the scenes. If Baldoni's lawsuit proves successful, it could permanently stain her credibility, making studios think twice before working with her. Reynolds, on the other hand, has spent years cultivating a near-flawless public persona, a rare feat in Hollywood. He's known for being likable, funny, and business-savvy, but his involvement in this case raises a serious risk. If evidence proves that he played a bigger role in the alleged intimidation of Baldoni, it could alter public perception of him overnight. Unlike other scandals that actors have weathered, this one isn't just about personal choices. It's about power, influence, and control in an industry that thrives on reputation. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has the most to gain, or lose. If he successfully proves that he was pushed out of his own film through underhanded tactics, it could position him as a symbol of resistance against Hollywood's elite power plays. He might emerge as a stronger figure in the industry, proving that even the biggest names can be held accountable. However, if his claims fall apart, he risks being seen as someone who manufactured a controversy to save his own career, a reputation that could be even harder to shake. The studio executives at Sony are also in a precarious position. Their decision to back Lively's version of the script over Baldoni's has become a central issue in this lawsuit. And if internal emails or documents reveal corporate pressure or bias, Sony could find itself caught in the crossfire. The lawsuit drags on. One thing is certain, Hollywood is watching closely. If Lively and Reynolds walk away unscathed, it will reinforce the idea that celebrity power can override controversy. But if Baldoni wins, it could shift the balance of influence, proving that even the most powerful stars aren't invincible. The battle isn't just about money or contracts, it's about who controls the narrative in Hollywood. And the final chapter of this story hasn't been written yet. As the lawsuit between Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, and Ryan Reynolds unfolds, it's becoming more than just a legal battle. It's a turning point for Hollywood's power dynamics. This case has pulled back the curtain on how creative control, influence, and reputation management function behind the scenes, leaving many to wonder, will this change the way Hollywood operates? For years, major actors have wielded immense power over the projects they take on, often influencing creative decisions, marketing strategies, and even the hiring of directors. If Lively and Reynolds successfully defend themselves, it could reinforce the idea that A-list celebrities hold the upper hand in Hollywood negotiations. Studios may become even more cautious about challenging the creative demands of their biggest stars, fearing similar public legal disputes. However, if Baldoni emerges victorious, the consequences could be profound. His lawsuit claims that he was pushed out of his own film through intimidation and manipulation. If a court rules in his favor, it could set a new precedent, signaling that directors and creatives have stronger legal protections against star-driven influence. This could make studios less likely to bend to actors' demands, shifting some power back to directors and production teams. The case also raises questions about Hollywood's legal landscape. Most industry disputes never make it to court. They are handled quietly through settlements, non-disclosure agreements, and private negotiations. But this lawsuit is playing out in the public eye, with new details emerging regularly. If it goes in to trial, it could open the door for other Hollywood insiders to come forward, revealing more behind-the-scenes conflicts that have been swept under the rug. Beyond the legal implications, this case is forcing Hollywood to confront its obsession with public image. Lively and Reynolds have built their careers on being charming, relatable, and scandal-free, but this controversy is putting that image to the test. If they come out of this unscathed, it will prove just how carefully managed and resilient celebrity brands can be. But if their reputations take a serious hit, it could change the way audiences view Hollywood's power couples, reminding everyone that even the most beloved stars aren't immune to controversy. At the end of the day, this lawsuit isn't just about one movie or one conflict, it's about who truly holds power in Hollywood and what happens when that power is challenged. And as the battle continues, Hollywood may never be the same again.